Hey, what's up, beauties? It's your girl Brittany, and today I wanted to share with you all my story on how I transitioned from having relaxed hair to natural hair. So for starters, there's two choices when you want to become natural. You can either do a big chop, which is where you just cut off all of your processed ends completely, or you can transition like I did. And transitioning is where you pretty much just slowly and gradually clip off your ends. So as you have new growth coming in, you also clip your ends. And I transitioned about, when did I transition? I transitioned about 7 years ago, and I transitioned because I started to color my hair. And my mom, who's a hairdresser, which if you've seen my videos on coloring my hair now and straightening my hair with E-Tape products, you know that my mom is a licensed cosmetologist. So it was one point in high school when I wanted to just do something different with my hair, and I wanted to do like a bronze color on my hair, kind of like the color I have now, but just a little darker. And my mom was like, no ma'am, either you can color your hair or you can still get perms, but you cannot do both. And that's a really important tip. If you have colored hair, you don't want to put a relaxer on your hair, and vice versa. If you have relaxed hair, you don't want to put color on your hair or bleach on your hair, because it can really damage your hair and break it off. So I was in high school about my junior year, and I really wanted to color my hair this bronze color, and I really had to make the decision if I wanted to get my hair colored or if I wanted to continue getting relaxers. And I was really just leaning on wanting to be completely natural anyway. So I was like, I guess I'll let go of the creamy crack and get my hair colored. And that's what I did. So here I am 7 years later, and my hair is just really flourishing. And yeah, I know transitioning from relaxed hair to natural hair can be quite difficult and frustrating. I know for me it was, because I had like real curly hair at the roots because my new growth was coming in, but then my ends were just like completely straight, and I was like, this is completely hideous. So I know that can be frustrating, but when you're transitioning to become fully natural, just ignore what people say, ignore other people's opinions. If anybody has something negative to say about you and your hair, just child please, like so just do your own thing. If you want to be natural, and take the time and have the patience to really just embrace your natural hair and really just embark on the journey. So I wanted to just share some tips with those of you who might be thinking about transitioning to natural, and just some things that I did when I was transitioning from relaxed to natural. So first, it would be to find styles that work best with you and your hair. Now, transitioning, as I said, it can be quite frustrating because you have two different textures going on in your head, and it's like, this is hideous. Like, is this really what being natural is about? But just find styles that work with you, in that where you don't have to put heat on your hair continuously. When I was transitioning, I hated the fact that my hair was two different textures, so I would literally straighten my hair like every 2 weeks. Like, I would wash it every 2 weeks, blow dry it, straighten it out, and it really caused my hair to be like really damaged. So even though I was transitioning to natural, I had so much heat damage in my hair where my curls weren't popping at all. When transitioning to natural, to be fully natural, avoid heat as much as you can and at all costs if possible, because when you constantly apply heat to your hair, that damages your hair and it can really cause breakage, and you don't want any of that when you're trying to grow your hair and just get it to be healthier and natural. So instead of applying heat to your hair, you can do styles like twist outs, braid outs, bantu knots. You can do styles with flexi rods, roller sets, perm rods, anything like that, to where you're getting your hair, you're training your hair to be into that curling type of pattern, and you're also not putting heat on your hair and damaging your hair. And I know, like for me, when I was transitioning, I did a lot of braid outs and a lot of twist outs. And like I said, you know, you have two different textures going on in your hair, because you have your new growth that's happening at the roots, where your hair is really starting to become natural and you're really starting to see your curls, but then at the ends, it's just completely straight. And what I found that worked best for me was doing those braid outs and twist outs, and then when you get to the bottom, just taking a perm rod and rolling your hair up as much as you can. And that really just kind of trains your ends and gets them to curl up more. The next tip I have for you transitioners is to have realistic expectations. Don't get upset and frustrated with your hair when it's not acting and behaving like it used to do. When our hair is relaxed, it's a lot easier to maintain. It's straight, you know, we can just do whatever with it. And when you're transitioning to become natural, your hair is getting thicker, it's getting longer, and it takes a lot of patience to deal with. I know, trust me. This journey is really all about trial and error, just finding those styles that work for you, those products that work for you, what goes good with your hair, what doesn't. And you want to have the idea to work with your hair and not against your hair. Your hair is going to be big, it's going to be curly, it's going to be frizzy. That's the part of having natural hair. But the goal is, and the idea is, to really just work with your hair. Like I said, finding those products that work good for your hair, that keep it moisturized, that keep it less frizzy, and finding those styles that work really good while you're transitioning. So like I said, have those realistic expectations with your natural hair. Accept your hair for what it is, flaws and all. Whatever your natural hair is in its natural state, accept it, embrace it, and love it. Don't expect like these perfect silky curls when you embark on this natural hair journey, because that's only going to lead to disappointment. I know when I started my journey with transitioning, I saw all of these women with beautiful curly hair, and their curls were just silky and bouncy and just luxurious. And when it came time for me to do my hair, it was like, this is what I'm working with? Like, this is hideous. Like, I want the curls like my idols have. But don't have those expectations when you're trying to transition from relaxed to natural. Just like I said, embrace your hair, embrace your curls, embrace your hair how it is naturally. Because at the end of the day, no one's hair pattern is the same. No one's going to have the same hair texture, the same curls. Your curls are uniquely suited to you. So just embrace that and figure out ways to really just enhance your curls on your own. So my next tip would be to give your hair TLC. Pay attention to your line of demarcation. And your line of demarcation is where your hair that is your natural hair meets your hair that is relaxed. So where you have your new growth at the top, say this part of my hair, this upper half of my hair was natural, it's new growth, it's where my hair is, my natural curls are coming in, but the bottom ends of my hair is where my hair is still relaxed. This line right here is very fragile. So when you're doing your hair and styling your hair, you really want to pay attention to your line of demarcation, because as I said, this area of your hair is very fragile and it's more susceptible to breakage. For this reason, this is why I say to avoid heat as much as you can when transitioning, because that point in your hair is very fragile and you don't want to apply heat constantly to your hair and experience a lot of breakage when you're trying to grow your hair in. And also with caring for your hair, do protein treatments at least once or twice a month, and also do your deep conditioning more regularly. So deep condition your hair. When I was transitioning, I would legit deep condition my hair like 2 times a week. Now I only deep condition it once a week. But when you're transitioning, you really want to get that moisture in, you really want to get your hair to revert and to really just get as much of a conditioning treatment as you can. And alongside with that, after you do your protein treatments and your deep conditioning treatments, do those styles like we talked about earlier, the braid outs, the twist outs, the bantu knots, the perm rod or roller sets, because this will really train your hair and get your hair to be more natural instead of putting heat on it and causing more breakage. You could also do styles like box braids or Senegalese twists or faux locks or sew-ins or wigs. But when you do styles like this, just make sure, especially with the sew-ins and things, make sure that you get a closure so you're not leaving your hair out. Because I know when I was transitioning, I would do sew-ins often because, you know, sew-ins, you can leave them in for 1 to 3 months and your hair is protected underneath. But I would always have leave out at the top, and it was like literally this section of my hair, and I was just constantly straightening it. Like every day I was straightening my leave out to make sure that it blended with my weave. And let's just say, not a good idea. Because what happened was when I would try to do my wash and goes or my braid outs or twist outs, all of the bottom, all of this part of my hair would be, you know, cooperating and really be curly, but then this section of my hair would never do right, and it was because it was so damaged from the excessive heat that I was putting on it. So do more protective styling, do more styles where you're not touching your hair as often and where you do not have to apply heat. And the last tip that I have is just to be patient. You may be thinking about going back to, you know, getting relaxers and perms and things because it's easier to manage and it's more familiar to you, your hair, you know how to deal with it more. But just don't give up because this process really takes time. It took me years to get my hair to be fully natural, and I literally had to, one day I just kind of went on a tangent and I did a wash and go, and I literally just cut off any straight ends that I saw. And this did speed up my natural hair journey, but if you're somebody who doesn't like to have short hair, who doesn't like to just chop your hair off, the process is going to take time, and you have to realize that you're really going to have patience in working with your natural hair, doing your natural hair, and just, you know, the look of your natural hair. So during this journey, just don't let your frustration get the best of you. Your hair is growing, and it's growing to be fuller, it's growing to be thicker, it's growing to be healthier, it's growing to be stronger. And like I said, this may take time, but it's growing, and it's growing to be all of these things. So just really work with your hair, just really be patient with your hair, and take this time to really just get to know your natural hair and embrace it and see what things work best for it. So to all of my transitioners out there, I hope that some of these tips can help you out a little bit and ease your mind about the transitioning to natural journey. I know it might be a little chaotic and a little frustrating, but trust me, it gets better. All you have to do is be patient and really just take care of your hair, and you will see the results that you want to see. So go ahead and hop on this natural hair journey and I'm sure you're gonna love it. So that wraps up this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you all in my next video. Deuces.